What's up, demons? Welcome to I'm in Agony. I'm Rach, commonly known as Ranch, and you can find me at roostbotlons.tumblr.com. Anyways, earlier this week, you may have noticed that our good friend Chloe, Adelinus on Tumblr, created a survey in which you all could vote for which Sansa ship you liked the most. From that, we compiled our top 10 Sansa ships, and we're going to discuss them. So, first off, I'd like to reintroduce Hallie.
Hi, I'm Hallie. I'm at samtarleys.tumblr.com, but with a C. I'll let you figure out where the C is.
And then there's Ash. So, Ash, say hello. You're new.
Hi, I'm Ash, and I'm at Weasley Rose on Tumblr, and I am Sansa's #1 fan. That's
Okay.
debatable in this chat. Oh, Hallie's getting fired up already.
Contrary to the normal system, we're going to start from number 1 and move to number 10. So, number 1 is Jonsa, of course. Who would have seen this coming?
Okay,
with our group.
It's like slanted because Chloe is a Jonsa shipper, so all of her followers, of course, gonna say Jonsa.
And she reblogged
Plus,
it on her
the
side blogs.
majority of the group chat. It was solid. Pretty solid leaning towards Jonsa.
So, are we gonna talk about our feelings about this, or like the basis for it?
I don't really know the basis for some of them. For the ones I like, I'll explain the basis. Or that I know about the basis of. But for Jonsa, I'm just really indifferent towards it, to be honest. Like, I know people really go wild for it, and there's lots of fights about it, but I just, it's pretty meh to me. It's very vanilla, even though it's incest.
So, I guess I can talk about the basis of it. I'm obviously a big Jonsa fan myself, and Hallie's with me on that one.
Yes.
But it started, I think, at least part of it was because of the tourney of Ashford. And for those of you guys listening who don't know about the tourney of Ashford, it was a tourney held at Ashford to celebrate Lord Ashford's daughter's 13th name day. And she had 5 champions fighting on her behalf. And anyone who defeats a champion ends up replacing their opponent as champion. Anyway, so the five players were Lionel Baratheon, Leo Tyrell, Tybalt Lannister, Humphrey Harding, and Prince Valar Targaryen. And the names are significant because Sansa was engaged to Joffrey, later promised to Willis, then married to Tyrion, then promised to Harry Harding, and then Jon is obviously a Targaryen, so that's where the Targaryen things comes in. So that's the basis of it. And I think it has a lot of Easter eggs, at least that I've seen. Hallie, wouldn't you agree? At least, oh no, you haven't read the books.
No, I haven't read the books. I can talk more from a show perspective, like my perspective from it, but I want you to finish first. I don't want to like derail you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, book theorists have suggested, actually, okay, so let me just preface by saying, like, most of the people on Reddit hate Sansa unless they're talking about, and still do even when they're talking about who she's going to end up with. But the people who have given her some leeway suggest that lots of the Elaine Stone scenes where she's reflecting on being a bastard kind of allude to her future with Jon. And especially the line, "Oh, it would be so sweet to see him again." But I think that actually the show has a lot more Jonsa canon than the books do, obviously.
Yeah, because they've reunited and there's actual, interaction between them. When they were kids, they did not like each other.
Right. And so obviously it's all speculation, but I think it's one of the more realistic that we have on this list.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more realistic ones on this list.
On this list for sure. One of the suggestions has been that Sansa will end up with with Gendry in the show. And I just think that of all of, like, when you put it like that, it makes Jonsa seem so much more realistic. When you do something that far-fetched, it just makes more sense.
Yeah, no offense to Gendry Sansa shippers, but I kind of side eye that a lot. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's just so random. Um, so I mean, I guess my perspective of it is, not reading the books, and um, I actually didn't. So I really hated, I watched all the seasons, and then I hated the fifth season storyline so much that I stopped midway through the fifth season, didn't finish the fifth season, still haven't finished the fifth season. And then when I found out about some of the plot lines in the sixth season, I was like, oh, okay, like this sounds like reasonable, like I'll come back. And then I watched some of those scenes, and it was definitely like, um, so someone clearly like myself who doesn't know everything about the fandom, I would say I would have been a little bit more involved, obviously, than like the casual viewer, but not, to the extent where I've like read the books. I know all of like the background and all that, but there's like some palpable tension, and I don't know if it's just like maybe like Kit and Sophie, or I mean, but they grew up together, like they're, I don't know, but there was definitely at least noticeable for me, and it was like I thought it was really sweet.
I
And
would
I'm not
definitely.
normally the type of person who would get on this kind of ship. Let me preface by saying that, or I guess like afterward.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of emotion there, especially compared to Jonaris. Anyways, moving on to the number two spot, which is Sansa Marjorie. Now this one has a lot of basis, just because I don't know, just look at Marjorie and all her scenes with Sansa, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well, they're
definitely has a
both
lot of show
beautiful.
bases.
Yeah, it's definitely has a show basis. In the books, it's a lot easier to see how manipulative Marjorie is, I think, in my opinion.
I agree. No, I definitely agree. I think that she's smart. And one of the quotes I used on one of my photo sets one time was like she something about how she's like as cunning as she is beautiful. So I feel like Natalie Dormer was kind of a disservice. Not to, I love Natalie Dormer, let me get that straight, but like um how young she was and how quick-witted, and putting her against Sansa, who is, I think, equally as adept at playing the game. I think Sansa's smart. I think that she and Marjorie could get up to a lot of stuff together. Even in the books, I think so.
They're both so hot.
They are.
I on it, I do think that is the basis for most of this ship is that they're just hot.
Yeah.
And they're gay.
Oh my
And the
god.
whole Marjorie gives Sansa a rose scene was a big deal.
God, Marjorie's
Lesbian.
so gay.
It really was. And you, I mean, I could totally see Marjorie like having sex with women anyway because of the whole, do you want me to turn around? Like she's not like stupid. And she knows like that people are gay, people are gay, Susan, kind of thing.
She's very open, like in her sexuality too. I don't think that she would be opposed to. I think she'd be down.
It's just a
Yeah.
Tyrell thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
They're
it is,
pretty
yeah.
just they're just pretty open but also conniving.
Yeah.
I think they would both. I mean, could you imagine? They would both just like be so great at ruling. I don't know. Together, they could do a lot.
Way more than Dany and Sansa ever could.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully Jaimsa didn't make this list. Sorry for any Jaimsa
thank,
shippers.
thank
No,
God.
number three. Number three is Sansa and Maya Stone, which, to be completely honest, I don't I don't see it. I see Maya as just being like a really sweet, nice girl that likes her donkeys, and I don't think her and Sansa have anything going on. Like I know they're both in the Vale and the books and stuff like that, but I don't see it.
By what right does a donkey hook up with a wolf?
Oh my god. All this Maya hate. Maya is actually one of my favorite book characters, and it all started with me like making this aesthetic photo set series, and I like found this picture that was just so Maya Stone. And so I went back and like reread her parts of the book, and I was like, oh my god, you know who she would go great with? Ariane Martel. And so like I can never unsee that. So I don't ship this one. I ship a crazy crack ship.
Yeah, I didn't like read the books, so I really have nothing to say about.
So I guess we should probably preface for anyone who hasn't read the books. Maya Stone is so the Vale in the books. I think some in the show too, but like it's more prevalent in the books. Like it's a very well guarded keep because it's like on top of a mountain that's only accessible by this very like crazy trail up the mountain. It's impenetrable.
It's not the Vale, it's the Eyrie. So to get up the Eyrie, right. There's like 3 different, I think, sections to get up, and it gets just more crazy as you go, and you need donkeys because it's a long ways, and they're more sure-footed than human beings are. Anyways, Maya is one of the guides, essentially, that takes people up to the Eyrie and then like brings the donkeys back down and so forth. And she's also Robert Baratheon's bastard daughter.
Yeah, that's kind of the most important part that I first. Yeah, so she's one of the 16 bastards. Doesn't he have 16 in the book?
Yeah, because in the prophecy for Cersei, it's like 3 children for you and 16 for him or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's 16.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, it just seems pretty bland to me, honestly. I see them more as like nice friends.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th one in this list is Sansa Podrick.
Big dick pod.
Big dick. Miracle dick. Pod.
Is that the entire premise of this entire ship is just that he has a god dick?
Well, remember like
in the show is not bad looking. He's kind of cute.
He is cute.
Yeah, he's a little cutie. He's sweet. Like,
he is sweet, and he has like a massive dong.
And he knows how to use it.
Exactly. Although I think he knows how to use it kind of accidentally. Anyway, remember there was that campaign after season 7 that was like, let Sansa Stark orgasm or whatever, that came out with that, what was it? Sansa Dickon?
Yeah, Dixa.
Oh, Dixa.
I'm glad that didn't make this list because I just think it's so annoying. No offense to Dixa shippers, but like I was suffering enough during season 7 as a Jonsa shipper and someone who hates Daenerys Targaryen. And I just kept seeing these Dixa photo sets on my dash, and I was like, this is making it so much worse. Like, stop reminding me that Sansa is, like, miserable and, like, fighting with Arya. It was awful.
I'm pretty sure it started as a meme, and then people took it seriously.
And it was funny as a meme, but when people started making these really elaborate gift sets, I was like, okay, we're done. Like, this is a joke gone way too far.
They should have done that with Jon X the Night King.
Now that would have been actually funny.
I ship that.
That's a great ship. It's got lots of subtext there, you know?
Yeah. It's like
with the incest?
Well,
because I'm pretty sure the Night King is a Stark?
Well, they also are always staring like very intensely into each other's eyes every time they meet.
Yeah, that's like,
true.
I'm like trying to. It's like a literary theme, almost. Like it's just like these two people like are mortal enemies, but then just let them bang.
Just let them bang. The new
Yeah.
Night King. OTP, just let them bang.
I also ship the Night King with Westerosi destruction at this point.
Yeah, burn them all.
Yeah, that's a side note. We're getting off track
Anyway,
here.
we're doing Big Dick Pod. No, I don't I saw like a I don't think it was a meta, but just like what if Sansa moved in with Pod and like raised goats or something? And I was like, I mean, that's not the worst thing that could happen. Like he's got a massive dong, she'd be fed, like taken care of, but like that again, that's kind of like a vanilla thing for me. Like the only basis of this is that he has a monster dong. Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
else does Pod have to offer? He kind of is personalityless.
I
Oh,
know.
he's supportive. He's very
Yeah.
supportive and sweet. And I think that might be the other basis of it because Sansa has gone through so much shit that she just deserves someone who's not a shit. And the list is very short in Game of Thrones for people who aren't awful. So I think that's kind of where like some of the basis is.
Well, our original list before Ranch added number 9 was all really like solid, nice people who would take care of Sansa. And then once we get to number 9, you guys will know who I'm talking about. But it's like, oh, that's nice, 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 nice. Oh my God, like who put that on the list?
Okay, to be fair, the number 8 and number 10, I think, make less sense. But
Oh,
we're just
we'll
Shut
gonna
up
get to
about number
those.
eight.
we're just gonna
We'll
move
get
on.
to eight.
No, we'll get to 8. Hallie and I will rant about 8, and I'll make you guys read all of my fic. AO3, I am Rose Weasley on AO3. We'll get
Anyway,
to it.
number 5 is Sansa Willis. It's again very vanilla, very just happy flowers and fucking rainbows.
Yeah, I used to
News.
ship Sansa and Willis before I got back into Game of Thrones. Like I watched Game of Thrones when it came out in 2011, stopped after the you know what Ramsay storyline, and
Oh,
then
big mood.
came back
Hmm.
during season 6, and I was like that now that I have like Jonsa as like my number 1, why would you even want Willis? Like that sounds so mean, but like okay, he's handsome and he runs Highgarden, but
You never even get to
that's
meet
it.
him. That's like all you know about him. The entire basis of their relationship is just that like Margie says, "Hey, you should come to Highgarden and marry my brother. He's really nice and handsome, even though he's crippled because he had an accident." And it's just the Tyrells trying to manipulate Sansa so they can have the heir to the North in their family. So
Which
there's
is
like,
also something I don't really like.
yeah,
You know, just like using her for like there's no like the basis of the ship is like the Tyrells are smart as hell and know how to get what they want.
yeah, basically.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't read the book, so I don't have much to contribute to this, but yeah, snooze fest.
In my opinion, number 6 is also a snooze fest, which is Sansa Myrcella.
I hate this one.
I'm not 100% against it,
I I,
but
I know people hate on me for shipping Marcella and Rob, but like this one is just like okay, Marcella's a nice girl. That's it. Like would you really want like Marcella looks a lot like her mom. Would you really want Sansa to wake up to the face of her abuser every morning?
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
big
I
mood.
didn't think about that. Good point. Good point. That's, I mean, I think so. So my approach with some of these, honestly, is in an AU. I guess I'm like also considering like AU, maybe if things had gone a little bit differently, which maybe is the wrong approach to take, but I'm just, if Sansa was never, obviously never like trapped in this horrible situation that she went through, then maybe I can support it a little bit more. But I mean, now that you make that point, obviously, I I think it's a solid point.
I think the big reason we're getting all of these like really random vanilla ships is because all the other ships on the survey
So bad.
were absolutely
So bad.
awful. Um,
Yeah.
Ranch, how come Sansan isn't on this list?
Oh,
because
shut up.
nobody else besides me in the group ships it, and so therefore their followers don't ship it. There's no demographic in our small podcast following that actually enjoys Sansan, unfortunately. I could rant
You
about
know,
days about the reasons behind that ship.
can I just say, I'm not like super against. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Like, I'm not super against aged up
Brainwashed.
book Sansan. Like, I don't really mind, but like show Sansan, no way. Like, no
No.
way. Canceled. D&D ready to put out a hit on them. Like, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think it'll
It's just
happen either.
creepy. But like book Sansan, where but I don't want Sansa to be with someone who's like. This sounds mean, but like someone who's like missing half of his face and like has oozing sores on his face. Like she deserves someone beautiful and nice, and he's not nice. Like he's always in pain.
I think in the show, we're getting off track here, but yeah, and I have my reasons for not, and part of it is just, D&D's shitty writing, but that's better left for another podcast that we have coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, we can continue on the other more weird ships later. Number 7 is Fianza, which I know is actually becoming quite popular. Thank you, Lizzie.
Yeah. Lizzie's done that for us.
It's pretty much thanks to Lizzie that I actually ship this.
Can I plug a fic real quick?
Absolutely.
The best Fianza fic ever, in my opinion, is a little Stardust Cots, a seaside framed in glass. And so if any of you are like on the edge of whether or not you ship Fianza, oh my, like I'm gonna start crying, guys. It was so good. I read that fic and it changed my life. It's like 5 chapters. It's probably like 10,000 words. It's not even that long, but it was like mind blown at the possibilities. And honestly, I don't think it would work in the books or the show, but like in a Theon didn't kill air quotes Brandon Rickon kind of way. I think this is one of the greatest Game of Thrones ships of all time.
I think it would be good as almost an endgame in a way. Like, if Sansa does end up becoming Queen in the North, I think Theon, at this point in his character development, would be very good for her.
Yeah. In the books or in the show?
In the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think, to quote Stranger Things, nothing brings you together more than shared childhood trauma. So.
Yes. I know there's like a debate, pre-Ramsay versus like post-Ramsay, but I can see it in like any version. That's what's so great about Fianza is like, I mean, regardless of whether you choose to like acknowledge his trauma and everything, which that's a whole other thing. But I think it's just such a beautiful ship, and I think part of the reason I can, again, haven't read the books, but Alfie Allen is just so brilliant in his role on Game of Thrones, and he brings like so much like tenderness, maybe might not be the right word, but just like so much emotion to like everything that he does, and I think that Sophie Turner does that really well too, and so I just think that they would just be so perfect together. I don't know. I'm like going, it doesn't make any sense, anything that I'm saying, but
No, I think it does. I think it's really I think Alfie and Lena were tied for best acting this season because oh my god, it was so good. And I think that helps with the character dynamics because you kind of get that setup of like, okay, this is how an actor is really supposed to look. And I think that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why so many people are shipped with Sansa and not Daenerys is because Amelia is not a strong actress, but um, Sophie is. And so, like, you're like, wow, look how all these emotions, and oh, wow, you know who these emotions would pair really well with? Like, insert character here, you know?
Exactly.
Right.
I multi-ship the
Yeah.
hell out of Sansa, as everyone knows. I think
Hmm.
another thing about Theonsa is, especially compared to pretty much almost all of the other ships we've discussed, they're both those characters have depth and a lot of emotion in them, and so the ship is more interesting because there's more layers to work through and like contemplate, especially maybe in a fic, as opposed to the other ones where for like Willis or Myrcella or even Podrick, you gotta kind of invent stuff about how that would work.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
Theon and Sansa, you know based on so much character history how they're going to interact with each other and how a relationship between them would come together.
Right. I mean, it happened so there's these also really deep, like, familial themes here. Dan has kind of always been wanted to be a Stark. Sansa has lost a lot of her obviously lost a lot of her family. So I just think that it's such an interesting dynamic, and it has a lot of potential. And it's something actually, I mean, not necessarily the ship, but at least a reunion is something like I really hope that they do in season 8. But I'm biased.
Yeah, I think we
One
all would.
one time I read a I'm gonna expose myself here, and people are either gonna be shocked or not surprised at all. I read I started to read a Robsa fic, and Theon was like this prop for Sansa's like relationship with Rob. So Rob like ruled the North, and Sansa and Theon ruled the ruled Pike, and they would come back for these like illicit adventures between Rob and Sansa, and it just made no sense whatsoever. But it showed that like I don't know, maybe a political marriage is a thing. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it.
I see
I
it a
know it's
lot.
happened in a couple fics, but
I see it a lot more than number 8, which is Jaimsa. So
Okay,
someone
oh,
please
okay. Shut
educate
up,
me
Ranch.
why this isn't an awful ship.
okay, I'm about to
So
go off.
good. It's
Okay,
so good.
first of all, AO3.com, Rose Weasley. I have some great fics written. Not to like pat myself on the back too hard, but I've written some Jaimsa fics. Okay,
I've read
so
them. I've read them. They're good.
thank you.
They're really great.
Um, so one of the reasons why I like it so much, I mean, there's so many reasons, but I'll just list them. Okay, so it's a choice, right? Like Jaime has a choice to love Sansa, and Sansa has a choice to love Jaime back. It's kind of like cliche and Romeo and Juliet esque, but like their families have been feuding and they kind of heal that divide. Also, I think that Jaime just deserves someone to love him, and I totally see Sansa being the one to do that. Like I think that Jaime has a lot of trauma, especially because of like his sister is crazy and has abused him and manipulated him. Not that he hasn't. Don't get me wrong. Jaime has his flaws, and I'm not going to say that he doesn't. But this is kind of like after everything goes down, what happens next, and it's their happy ending that they build together in a partnership. It's not so much like um, Jaime lording over Sansa, but like Sansa and Jaime helping to heal each other.
Yeah. I so I guess my perspective is there's two ways that I really like it. And it's the way that you mentioned, Ash, like after everything. But I've liked the fix that I've read where, instead of a marriage between Tyrion and Sansa, which demon shit, but um what if it was Jamie instead or something? Like, so I've liked that as well, but and then like they kind of like grow to love each other.
Jamie loving Sansa is a redemption. You know, it's his redemption. It's choice, it's glory, it's I don't want I don't want to say glory so much, but just like it's his. I get what you're saying. It's like Jamie's like it's
Yeah.
like the end of his story.
It's his choice. It's he's for
Yeah.
once in his life, he's not something that his father or his sister or his um king or anything wanted him to be. It's something I see it as a chance for him to escape um all of the crap that he has been involved with in the past.
I don't know, I just see it as a slightly augmented version of Jamie Brienne.
But I think
Sure.
it's different because I ship both. Um,
Me
but
too.
I think Jamie and Sansa is a more um, leveled playing field. Like Jamie and Sansa have both. Sansa's not perfect. She did stuff that she was a child, but she's still not perfect. Um, Brienne has like never done anything wrong in her life.
She's
So
too pure, too good for this world.
yeah, and I also think that in some cases she's too good for Jamie. Um, I actually Jamie and Sansa is the only ship I would accept other than Jonsa as Endgame. I really wouldn't want, I don't think Sansa to end up with anyone else. I like reading fics for like Fianza, but I don't think I would want that to be Endgame.
I would be more okay with Fianza Endgame than Jaimsa Endgame.
I just love Jamie. I just want him to be
I
happy.
I think his final redemption is going to be death, unfortunately. But
I think so too. Yeah, I do think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
All right. So number 9.
Yee boy! Number 9. My number 2 OTP after Sansan is Stanza. Stannis Sansa. It is a beautiful, beautiful ship with many beautiful, beautiful fanfics, and it brings my heart so much joy.
I haven't read any fanfics for it actually, which, you know, so I don't really have like a basis for it. I mean, I can
They've
kind of
never met. There's
very
no base.
remotely. No, I mean like I'm saying just they're based on their characters, like their
Ranch, why don't you
character traits.
direct our listeners to some good fics to read? Because I'd be interested myself.
Well,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I really love The Baratheon Patient by Sarah Black, and pretty much any other fanfic by Sarah Black. I will go look up now any other ones that I can remember. But basically, in my opinion, the big reason before it is that he's has okay. So you know the whole like idea that you basically end up marrying like some version of your father or like some version of your mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stannis is like an augmented version of Ned, and he's a good person. Like he does murder Renly, but in a modern
Oh
AU
my
setting,
God.
in a modern AU setting, which is where most of these go, and I'm not going to deny this is 100% a crack ship. I love crack ships. They're
Yeah.
they're where my blood is. I don't like ships that could actually happen, if that makes sense. I never
Amazing.
I never end up uh getting into those. They just seem too vanilla to me. I'm like, no, I want there to be some sort of risque element. I don't know. Uh, but based on that, and also that Stannis is not going to do her wrong, and he's also going to be like the whole time, like, no, we should not be together, and just like be super awkward about everything, and try, just basically sacrifice himself so that she can have a better life without him, stuff like that. Wow, I love Stanza. I love. One I'm reading right now is called Sunrise by Sarah Black. I haven't read the last couple chapters, but I like it a lot. And
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing that could happen. I think that there's a big difference between um book Stannis and show Stannis. I think that they made show Stannis out to be way more evil than he really was. He
yeah.
was just grouchy,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
D&D hates Stannis, and even though Stephen Delane did such
Stephen
amazing job,
Delane hates Stannis.
that that man, I love Stephen Delane. He did such a perfect job portraying the nuances of Stannis's character, but what D&D did to him was just horrendous. Oh, another one I really, really like. It's really good and it's not super long. It's called The Admiral's Eyes. Go check that out.
Noise.
This will just make this ship just like I feel like okay, I get it because I've like shipped some weird shit before, like weird age gap ships before. But
Oh,
this ship for just some reason, I just imagine like Stannis being like grumpy cat and just like staring at Sansa like in bed. Like I can't imagine him like smiling or anything.
he
No,
doesn't.
the lights are off. He doesn't look at her.
No music.
No music. No candles.
From behind, doggy style. And she can't say his name. She has to call him King.
No, I'm cutting this out.
My lord. No, you keep it in. You
No,
keep it in.
I'm in control of
That's what he
this.
says. Keep it in. Keep it in.
Fuck off.
I have to take like 7,000 Viagra before they start. Like, wait, let me take my blue pill.
Could you realize that in the book Stannis is like 37?
Yeah, but Stephen Delane is like 100 years old.
He's 60.
Oh.
He's hot as fuck too.
Oh my god.
Oh, Daddy King.
Rach is exposing herself. Ah!
How am I exposing myself? My description on Tumblr literally says, "I'm here for all the hot Game of Thrones dads." I
Hey,
am out there.
I'm here for all the hot real dads. You know who is a hot dad, Ranch?
Me.
Yes! Ah!
Oh.
I hate this line.
This is
Keep it
what they
in.
come for, and I'm an agony podcast.
Yeah.
Right, this is what they come for.
Anytime I accidentally send a Snapchat of me and my dad or like my parents or whatever to our group snap, Ash immediately has to say, "Wow, your dad's hot." And I'm like, "I want to pour bleach in my eyes."
He's so hot, though. He's so hot.
Oh! He looks like Dennis Quaid!
Ranch, is your dad a Republican?
Yeah.
That's what saves you. Or I would be Mr. Steal Your Dad.
My parents
Dennis Quaid is hot.
My parents have been married for 28 years.
Yeah, well, you know, marriage.
Mm,
That sounds mean. I don't want your dog to be an orphan.
aw.
Yeah, screw you, Ranch.
No.
You care about the dog.
No, I care about my dog more than I care about my own life. Anyways, before we move on to number 10, which is... No,
Oh.
before we move on, I have to plug
Sure.
my new OT3 that I came up with today, which is...
no.
Yes, Stannis, Sansa, Davos. So
hate
combining
Demon tier.
all my like ships that are right below Sansan, which is Stavos, Sanvos, and Stansa. I think that's combine them to the ultimate OT3.
Why can't you? No. Just leave it at Davos and Sansa, which is actually like a god tier ship.
It's so cute. Everybody read
It
my
is
fic.
cute.
My AO3 is linked on my description. Please read it. I'm a hoe for attention. It's not very good, but it makes me cry, and I've channeled all my grief into it. Thank you.
I ship number 10 more than I ship this OT3.
That's fucking rude. Anyway,
Wow.
for everybody that's listening, number 10 is Sansa and the fireworms, which from last episode you would know what the fireworms were because we had a discussion about the 14 flames. Apparently they're like larva dragons that burn people and eat them.
Like dragon caterpillars that cook you and eat you. They're hot.
Y'all so nasty. We could have been actually talking about a legitimate Sansa ship right now, but we're just talking about worms.
How is this not a legitimate ship, Ash? It has more basis than some of these other ships.
No,
You know what a good ship is? You know, I'm gonna be so Drogon and Sansa, new OTP, Monster Dawn, Dragon Dawn.
leave Sansa alone. She doesn't need this. She already has weird
Sansa
enough.
deserves the world.
Do we want to talk about ships we hate that are Sansa ships now, or do we want to talk about my weird Sansa ships that you could just go fucking roast me again?
I'm pretty sure that
Um,
those are like one and the same. Like I think ships we hate and all of your other crack ships are just gonna be. Oh, what can we talk about? Can we talk about Ramsay and Sansa?
Oh, I was just gonna say that. I
Let's
hate
do
them.
it.
demons.
Demon.
Demons.
Demon,
Pouring salt around myself right now.
demon tier ship. For real, any of you nasties shipping that out here? First of all, what the fuck is wrong with you if you ship that?
Yeah, like pretty
Second of
much.
all,
We will tolerate anything else. Like if we seem like we're being really nasty, it's just because like we don't like it, but we don't hate you if you like it. But Sansa
Unless you're a bad
Ramsay,
person.
fuck right off. Leave this podcast. Turn it off. Unfollow us. Just no.
Yeah.
0 out of
You're
10.
not in the right place. You're not in the right place.
It is as bad as Ramsay. And we all know, if you've been following me since the beginning of October, how much I hate Ramsay.
It's
yeah,
demon tier.
I don't understand why anyone would want to ship Sansa with her abuser. Why any? This is gonna spiral into a rant on you know who and Sansa. But like
we can just skip.
no, I'm not gonna name names. You know who you are. Stop being nasty. Y'all nasty as fuck. Leave Sansa alone. Let her be with someone who doesn't like sexually manipulate her and groom her for her entire life. Want to fuck her because she looks like her mom, but anyway, that's the tea.
That's
Yeah.
the tea for today, children.
I mean, I'm chill with all y'all creepy shippers, but I do not like it. Don't come at me and ask me questions about that. So we're moving on. Another ship that I don't think any of us like is Sansa Tyrion.
I don't
No.
understand
It's
why
dub
any of y'all demons are out there shipping this shit. Why?
It's just because they're married.
Like, okay, I mean, I guess the same could be said for like Sansa and Jaime, but like Tyrion is a real life son of a bitch. Like,
He's so glorified by everybody, but he's not actually that good, you know?
no, I mean, like he like legitimately rapes people, and then like Jaime out here, hero tier, stopping girls from getting raped,
He also
putting
does
them in positions, household positions, like.
that's true. He did push Bran out a window though. He's never gonna live that down. But
Yeah.
I do think Tyrion is worse. I just don't like him. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. He's got a big mouth.
Season 7 in a nutshell.
Like I think Peter Dinklage does a good job.
Oh, I
I
love Peter Dinklage.
I don't
His
like
accent
him.
is horrible, though. His accent is bad.
Yeah. He's a sweetheart in real life, and I think that's why. And yeah, I kind of like his character on the show, but again, I haven't read the books.
Halfway through A Storm of Swords, you're just like, fuck this guy, I'm out. I'm done. I do not want to read all his copious amounts of chapters. I say copious a lot. I don't want to read all of his chapters. I don't want to know. I don't want to deal with this, but I
Well,
have to.
the whole Shay thing, that is gross. Come on, dude.
Well, a lot of it, okay, so in A Dance with Dragons, I think his chapters were literally the worst chapters out of any character's chapters, and I like really hate Davos's chapters. I mean, I like Davos as a character, but I hate his chapters. but when I got to those Tyrion chapters, they are so slow. And he just wants to kill himself over and over and over again. It's so boring.
Yeah. Is that the stuff where he's all in that slave camp and shit?
Um,
With Penny?
he's in like what's his face's palace in Bravos. Illyrio Mopatis.
Oh yeah, just all of that was just really boring to me. It seemed irrelevant. I was not interested. Anyways, what other Sansa ships do you guys hate?
We've pretty much covered the ones that I hate, I think.
Do you want me to roll out my list?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
probably
Here we go.
the next one that I said that I've read a lot of fanfic for is Sansa Tywin, because that's some
Demon tier.
good
Sansa
modern
what?
AU shit.
Fuck right off, Rach. Hell no.
Don't plug
no.
any fan fiction here, Ranch, because no one wants to read that nasty shit.
I'd be embarrassed to plug any of the fan fiction I've read for them. There's some out there stuff, but if you're looking for some good smut, people, that's where it's at.
No.
No.
Go just watch some porn, some like regular porn.
Read some Robsa smut.
Ew,
that's where the good smut is.
Robsa is so vanilla. Fuck off.
Robsa is one of my favorite ships of all time, and I know I'm about to get roasted for that one, but like, I love Robsa so much. Like, who's gonna love Sansa more than Rob will?
John.
No one.
John.
False.
He loves redheads. It's canon.
I'm probably gonna get roasted because I shat on Sanrian, but then I was next like, well, I ship Sansa Tywin. But it's not like I ship it in canon verse, like I want it to happen. I'm like, no, I do not want that to happen. Just give me modern AUs. Thank you very much. And this is the last one. I don't really ship it, but there's one really good fanfic. It's just a really well written piece that's a Roose Sansa fic, but it's not like romantic. It's like he's a psychopath and he's manipulating her mentally. It's called The Night's Queen, and she's like kind of. So I don't ship it, but it's a really really interesting fic, and she's like Sansa's dating Marjorie, and they're like breaking up. If you want like a psychological thriller, I suggest it.
This is gonna.
I don't know, Branch. I think that's worse than Peter and Sansa, and I fucking hate. That is a demon tier ship, and like, I think you just ascended into fucking Satan tier. Like there is no worse.
Straight up King of Hell tier.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
who's that King of Hell character you like on that show that was canceled?
The show I don't watch anymore. It's Crowley. Yeah. I'm also at the King of Hell on Tumblr.com, so go follow my multi-fandom side blog. Thank you very much.
What? I didn't know you had a multi-fandom side blog.
You don't want to follow it because it's supernatural.
It's not. It's barely supernatural at
all. Oh. I have it blacklisted anyway.
It's mostly Stranger Things right now. Like, my icon is Chief Jim Hopper.
I might have to follow it then.
It's got a lot of Harry Potter content.
Oh, I like Harry Potter.
And movies. Anyways, yeah, go follow
everything else
side
blog. Blacklisted. in summation, Sansa is beautiful. She deserves happiness.
And none for Peter Baelish by.
God. you go to 0 to 100 so fast, Ash.
She does.
That's why you guys keep me around.
I know.
Yeah, Sansa just deserves the world, and I think she's a very interesting character that has lots of different sides to her, and That's why she gets shipped with so many characters. And I know a lot of people get really, really mad about it. It's like, you're just using Sansa as, your own basically OC, a Mary Sue, for what you want. And I'm like, no, she actually has quite a dynamic personality that works
Right.
well with a lot of
Yeah.
different characters. Even the ships on this list that I was like, they're kind of vanilla. I'm like, they're vanilla, but they'd still legitimately work.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, John says God tier and is number one for me, and I know that it's somewhat sinful, but it's fiction. Let's just remember it's fiction.
Any closing
Be
words from you, Ash?
Um, I'm trying to keep it nice. Um, um, okay. I love Jonsa, and I wish well on anyone who ships non-demon tier Sansa ships.
So you exclusively hate me. Okay, that's fine.
No,
Uh,
no, 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 no. That's so mean. No, I adore you, Ranch, and all your weird demon tier ships.
That's okay. I love you too. My
Okay.
only closing comment is everybody should ship Davos Sansa and go read my fic and cry. Thank you.
I agree. I agree.
I back that
Good
up.
closing comment.
All right. Everybody have a good day or night or afternoon or morning, and watch out for the next podcast.
Okay, bye.
Bye.